Welcome back to another episode of Dean Unchained. I'm your host, E, aka Venom, aka Mr. Tell It Like It Is. As per usual on the show, we discuss the battles of mating from a male perspective. And guys, I know I've been gone for a minute, but it's mainly due to the fact that I've been trying to take lessons on the side on how to properly edit my videos and how to properly structure the videos as well in order to obviously benefit you guys out there. So forgive the absence for 2 weeks. We're getting back in the sticks, and we're gonna do these videos as quick as possible, and then we're gonna like finesse the edits and make sure the transitions and the cuts and the different clips here and there are smooth as much as possible. Right. But anyways, today's topic is going to be short, brief, because it talks about it's mainly about love, right? And how our understanding and view of love is misconstrued to the um, due to what we've been told about love, as in what love is, etc., by Hollywood, by movies, Bollywood, Nollywood, etc. You pick your flavor of movies that you watch, okay? But they all have been structuring a certain type of love that's based around feelings, and obviously that's what caters more to women. And like I said, I always say on this show, women are the biggest consumers. They have the biggest purchasing power than men. Okay, so anything that's done around a selling point to sell something, it it's always um, it's always molded to sell to women. Okay, so they're always molded in order to make it viable to women for purchase. Right. So we're just going to watch a small clip here in order to discuss what Hollywood love is and what actual love is. So I'll give you guys a minute. Okay, right. So you probably enjoyed that clip. Loads of romantic scenes and flowers dashing about, feelings thrown left, right, and center. Right? Okay, and you be the judges of which one is Hollywood love or the actual real love. So to me, love is a decision, is a choice followed through by action and not something based on emotion and feelings. Right? Anyways, what brings us back here today is the understanding of love and lust. And I know Hollywood has Hollywood has played a big part in confusing today's generation or Gen X and Gen Z as to what love is. Okay, and all of us we're confused by it. Okay, we're confused by it. But throughout my research, what I came across is the ways in which love has been broken down, and the principal four categories that I always came across was unconditional love, which they ascribe to a parent to a child, etc., etc. I said, okay, fair enough. And then family love, which they said which is like sibling love, essentially, is the love that one has for his sibling, etc., etc. Right now, they describe something they call eros, romantic love, quote unquote lust. We all know that feelings and love and romantic, whatever you want to call it, all of that is volatile. Okay, because the minute the person disappoints you, you are willing to throw that particular kind of love that you so-called love. You're willing to throw that particular kind of love away immediately. And the last one was called friendship. Say friendship love, which is when you form a gang, a clique, etc., etc. You all quote unquote love one another. I discredit all these categories because love is just one thing. It's not. It's not friendship. It's not this. It's not that. And the purest form of love is the love that God has for us, right? And the purest form of love that anyone can display is loving through God. And what I mean by that is loving through God in the sense that no, you only love someone because of God. I know this might sound a bit twisted. People are like, love me for me. It's like, no, no, no. If I love you for you, I know you're bound to F up. And if I love you for you, you're bound to disappoint me, and you disappointing me or embarrassing me, etc., will lead to me disliking you. But then if I love you for God, it means that no matter the disappointment and everything else that comes with it, I will still love you. Okay, that's what it means in an oversimplified way. That's what it means to love for God. Okay, yes, I love for God, and I support my partner for God. I support my family for God. I don't do these things because that never changes. Like, like God never changes. The requirements never changes and everything else. So that's the purest form of love. All right. Now, any other kind of love is conditional. So all these different categories that you've heard me describe earlier on, all of that is conditional. And I'll explain why it's conditional, why I'm discrediting it. When we'll start with the first type, which is unconditional love. And generally, this love is described from a parent to a child, or a man to a woman, etc., etc. Right? The parent to the child, that love is not unconditional. That love is conditional. The parent only loves the child if that's his child to begin with, if that's his seed to begin with. And second, if his seed, his child, is dutiful to him, dutiful and honoring to him. That's why the parent loves that child. So those are the conditions, and those conditions have to be met in order for those conditions have to be met in order for love to be there. Those conditions have to be met in order for love to be there. And if those conditions are unmet, the general result or outcome of that is disappointment, and the parent will detest the child, or the child will despise the parent, etc., or the child will despise the parent. So those are the conditions that have to be met. Okay, so not unconditional. That is based on condition. That is based on condition. Now, we'll go down to the family type of love, which is the sibling love. Again, this is conditional. You love your siblings. Why do you love your siblings? Yes, you all come from the same room and everything else. You do for them, you do, etc., etc. Right? You could do for your sibling. You could look after your siblings. You could take care of them. But you want them as well to take care of you in return. You want them to reciprocate, or reciprocate the gratitude, the love that you show to them. And if they're unable to reciprocate that love, or they're unable to reciprocate the giving, the kindness, the etc., the purchasing here and there, etc., the helping every now and again, or the lending money, you will shut that door and you will say, yes, you're my sibling, we communicate, and that's about it. We communicate, we interact, and that's about it. That's how we keep it at that. We come from the same mother, we come from the same father, but we keep it at that. You and I, we say hello, we meet at the same dinner table. You can come to my house, I can come to your house, but we keep it at that. the fact that I go and put my neck on the line for you, I will no longer do that. Okay? So that love again is based on condition. Is based on conditions. Now, we look at lust, or what the Greeks call eros, romantic love, whatever you want to call it. This is based on stimulus, in terms of stimulus, like stimulate my feelings, stimulate, and women fall for this type of love a lot, which is hence why sex is rampant, but meaningful relationships are not. Sex is rampant, meaningful relationships are not, okay? Because women are extremely lustful, and they conflate the two a lot. They conflate the two a lot because someone blows their back out, they think, oh, yes, I'm in love with him. Because someone makes them feel butterflies, they think, oh, yeah, I'm in love with him, etc., etc. Because and they do all these love letters, all this texting, all this messaging, and sending nudes here and there. Yeah, but no, that's not love. Okay? And that is conditions as well. So for the guy, okay, for the guy, because we need to look at this from a man and a woman's perspective. So for the guy, yes, he will shower you with gifts. He will shower you with affection, kind words, and all that, cheesy stuff that we know about, right? He will shower you with all of that on condition that you give up sex, that you give up access to your body. He will shower you with all of that on condition that you give up access to sex. And once you give up access to sex, then yes, you've completed that transaction. Okay? Then once you give up access to sex, you've completed that transaction. So it's always conditional. So for the woman, when it comes to eros, lust, she fulfills her part of the bargain on that side by giving up access to sex. And in order for her to give up access to quote unquote sex, you need to wine and dine her, make her laugh. And there's a laundry list of things, okay? If we want to go through it on this entire video, if you want to go through that laundry list of things on this video, will take about now, okay? But she has certain criteria that you need to meet in order for her to drop her undies for you, right? So yes, you need to provide, you need to make her laugh, you need to wine and dine her, you need to take her to all these fancy locations, etc., 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 etc. So those are the things that need to be fulfilled. So that again is based on conditions. Okay. Now, friendship. And I know people's friendship circles get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner as life goes on, as they get older, etc., etc. And then they realize who their true friends are, who their true friends are not, etc., etc., etc. And friendship has always been a thing of you scratch my back and I scratch yours. And for someone who doesn't understand that, frankly, I'd say you're a bit naive and you're moving life. You're moving with a very narrow viewpoint. Okay, so friendship has always been you scratch my back and I scratch yours. One hand washes the other. One hand washes the other. Right. So with the friends, I am friends with you on condition that yes, I have your back and you have mine. So that reciprocity, again, you need to reciprocate. It might not be with the exact intensity, but you need to reciprocate that feeling. So yes, or that act of service, or that whatever it is, whatever you want to call the 5 love languages, you need to reciprocate that. If it's quality time, if it's etc., that needs to be reciprocated, because if when that is not reciprocated, then that means that part of the transaction is broken. So it becomes a one-way transaction. It becomes a one-way transaction. It's an offload, and the other person will feel left out. And when the other person feels left out, then that love and that whatever friendship, whatever you think you're building there, it will diminish, and the person will remove themselves. They will dissociate themselves with you, from you. Okay. So going back again, I'm not a super religious person or whatever it is, but the one true love from the research that I came across, even from Christians and everything else, the one from Christians, from Muslims, whatever it is, uh, the one true love is through God. So loving someone or loving through God, because that doesn't change, right? And I'll explain this from a religious aspect. You know, um, God loving us, for example, as His creation and everything else. We have our shortcomings, we have our downfalls, we have everything else. But God has made a commitment. God has made a commitment which He continues to honor. A commitment which He continues to honor despite our misdeeds. Okay? So, and He has promised things such as forgiveness, mercy, pardon, etc., 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 to those who do not associate any partners with Him in His worship, right? Meaning, when we fall short and do everything under the sun, we can do everything under the sun, and if we meet that condition, that criteria that no, we did not associate any partners with Him, we are met with forgiveness in this world and the next. We're met with forgiveness in this world and the next, right? So that's the principality of it. So God has placed that, and that's the only true love. He continues to give us and protect us in our dwellings, etc., etc., etc. The only harm or the only way we hurt ourselves is basically, yes, we hurt others, and others have to retaliate in order to level the playing field. All right? Let's look at love from a man and woman's perspective in getting together, and why men are scared of marriage and women are, quote unquote, no longer willing to commit. Right. So we said love is one, right? It's not multiple. It's not, love is one. And my definition of it, it's not an oversimplification. My definition of it, and as I like to put it, is that love is choice or decisions followed through by action, and it's not something based on feelings or emotions. I'll repeat that again. Love is choice or decision followed through by action, and not something based on feelings or emotions. So when a man, for example, decides to commit to a woman, I know women are more on this affection or this eros or romantic or lustful type of love, where they want their feelings, or let it be sexual, let it be happiness, they want that to be triggered all the time. They want to feel like the middle aisle in Lidl. Do you know what I mean? With all the randomness, right? They want all that randomness and da da da, the multiple choices that they have, etc., etc. They want that excitement. Okay, ladies, that is not love. Okay, yes, that is thrilling for some time. That is thrilling for some time. But after that, it fades. After that, it fades. And that's one of the principal reasons why women are unable to maintain relationships past 6 months, past a year, in today's day and age. Because for them, it's all about that excitement, that butterfly feeling they get in their stomachs, etc. They're like, oh no, he doesn't excite me anymore. He's no longer fun anymore. He's not buying flowers. He's not tapping into that emotional side where he's making me feel all these different things. No, love is commitment. Love is commitment in terms of actions, in terms of doing, in terms of a man saying to himself, yes, despite her, she's given birth, Despite her this, her looks, and that, I am committed to her. She's my wife. And then every day he goes out of his way to continuously provide for his family, even when he does not feel like working, even when he doesn't feel, he feels like, no, I should rest. I did. He still goes out of his way to provide for his family. Love is compromise. Love is compromise, like we've just talked about it. Love is compromise. Love is forgiveness. Love is overlooking the other person's fault. It's not just pick, you know, cherry picking and pinpointing what the other person has done. Like, oh, there, you've done this, you've done that, and then you try and have one up on each other. No, that's not what love is, right? So all these different traits and characteristics, and this is what now women have taken in from Hollywood, which is, yes, he needs to buy me the flowers, he needs to buy me, he needs to bring me breakfast in bed, he needs to he needs to take me on holidays every now and again. We need to be going to Cancun, we need to be eating dinner, be at shisha lounges, etc., etc. No, 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 these are all things that excite you. Those are not things based on, those are not love. Those are not love, because yes, you will go out, you get the thrilling feeling, you come home, and pardon my French, but you spread your legs, etc., etc. You're like, oh my God, yesterday was such a lovely day. And it's like, are you dizzy? Every day with me is a lovely day. Every day is a lovely day, because every day I sacrifice to be with this family. Every day I sacrifice to support my family, support my kids, support this, support that. I could have easily said, I'm going to take, but this is what men do. Men sacrifice. They understand that love is sacrifice, is compromise, and is loyalty and duty. And women have lost this, where they are no longer traditional. Yes, they're happy to come on board. They're happy to come on board if the eros, the romantic love part, is met, where they get tingling sensations every 5 minutes. They're like, yeah, I get tingling sensation here and there, etc., etc. He must love me. It's like, think of this as a reason why men no longer marry, for example. Think of this. You have a gym, okay? You have a gym. And the guy has access to this gym. He has access to that gym. And he doesn't have a membership. But the gym is accessible to him. So every day he comes there, every day he comes there, every day he comes there, he gets access to the gym. And then now one time, the gym is like, wait a minute. You don't have a membership. You need to sign up. He's like, oh, well, I've already been going here back and forth for a minute. So now how do you want me to sign up to continue coming to this gym? I'm already committed to it without the signing up. They're like, yeah, but you're using our gym without the without paying the full requirement for it, which is, yes, you need to sign up. We know you're a loyal, committed member and everything else. He's like, ah, right, I see. Okay, there's other gyms out there that will happily take me in without me signing up. So he continues to progress on that path. So he moves on to the next gym. Okay? And this is what women have created, with only when they only cater and respond to that one specific type of love, which is described in which is what Hollywood pushes out to them. Okay? Sex is rampant, but meaningful relationships are few. Sex is rampant, meaningful relationships are few. So that's what that has created. Women no longer understand that now. In order to fulfill your part of the bargain, as a Christian woman, as a Muslim woman, etc., etc., you need to ensure that in your marriage or whatever it is you have, if it's cohabitation, etc., etc., or boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm not here to downplay anyone's relationship, but you need to make sure that you understand this key criteria. Love is one. What love is, yes, as much as we hate the sound of it, as much as we hate the sound of it, it is conditional, it is transactional, and you need to make sure you meet your side of it. You meet the conditions, you meet the values that's required, you meet the worldview, you meet all those different things. You cater, you support your man, and the man provides, protects, and parental presence and everything else. So those are the conditions that need to be met. So love is difficult. No, it's not easy. It's not the I love you feeling. It's not I love you and I'm no longer in love with you. Because love is, yes, despite the fact that I no longer feel the feelings I used to feel, which is the butterfly, I am still in it. Despite the fact that I don't want to do this particular thing, but based on the conditions that I signed up on, the conditions that I agreed to, and everything else, I'm gonna do it. Which is the same thing that goes to Muslim or Christians. It's like, yes, if you truly love God, as you say you do, the conditions are that you follow. So, regardless of your feelings, how you feel, if you want to pray now, if you don't want to pray now, if you want to give, etc., etc., you fulfill those conditions that are required for you to love God. Okay? Do you fulfill those conditions? Yes. Though you don't want to do it, you do it. You pray. Although you don't want to, you put that compromise first. You say, no, let me meet these conditions. And then once you've met those conditions, you know you've fulfilled your side of love. Regardless of your feelings are irrelevant to the matter. But what you find most with single women today is like, I need to feel happy, I need to do whatever I do. So women will happily destroy a 20-year marriage. They'll walk out of it because their girlfriends is telling them, girl, you need to do you need to be happy 24/7. Go out there, get yourself a new D, go out there. No, that's a lie. Because yes, you'll get the thrilling feeling of getting a new D in 1 month and everything else, and then that feeling will fade. And if that is the thrill that you seek, you will continue to seek such feeling over and over and over and over and over again. So you'll be jumping ships every other 6 months because you're seeking that particular thrill. You're seeking the butterfly effect. So, ladies, understand love comes with its difficulties. Yes, compromise. Yes, duty, responsibility, forgiveness, mercy, etc., etc., etc. And men, likewise, those are the things that come with love. And if you truly love someone, you will adhere to those principles. Anyways, that's all for me. I was your host, E. This was the Dean Unchained podcast. Peace.